Well, I think as an oboist, Brahms would have a special place in any player's heart, really. But perhaps of all the symphonies, number one has the most delicious solos to play. It's the one I met first when I was a kid, really unexpectedly actually, playing first oboe, having never seen it before, in a summer school orchestra. And of course I was absolutely bowled over. And I haven't stopped being bowled over by it. I still love it. I still love playing it. I think it's so beautifully written for the instrument. For a start, the solo in the slow introduction, with this sort of cross between 6/8, which it's written in, and 3/4, which it sounds like. And it immediately is so clever at the same time as being beautiful.
Like Gordon, I first encountered my first Brahms Symphony, which is the second symphony, when I was a student. I just love the way Brahms structures his pieces. It's so lucidly clear what he's trying to say. Just the material itself is very compact. The very first three notes, you know, this D, C sharp, D, the chosen basses, which comes back time and time again, and even at the beginning of the last movement, it's the same three notes. At the very beginning, I mean, his economy of material is extraordinary, which is typical of the Austro-German school of Beethoven, of course. But I just love the way he just focuses everything on just important, essential material and discards anything that's not important. But at the same time as this kind of very structured way of working, which could be boring, I guess, he nevertheless has this fantastic sense of pace and keeping you waiting. And it kind of grinds on quite slowly and quietly to begin with, the horns and horns again, and different keys. And then there's kind of a descending thing with the strings, and there's a little timpani roll, and this wonderfully creepy, rather threatening trombone.
Yes,
note.
brilliant brass chorale.
Extraordinary. I mean, it really gives you shivers.
And us.
Totally out of nowhere, totally out of nowhere.
Yes.
And then this hemiola, and then this ravishing first violin melody, which you've been waiting for ever since the piece began.
Well, as opposed to you two, the third symphony for me was my the last symphony, Brahms Symphony, that came to me. And I'm not quite sure why that is. I don't think we play it as often as the other symphonies because there's a quiet ending. Nothing more profound than that. What's incredible about this work, I find, is the depth of emotion that comes out of the writing. And pain and pathos that comes out of the writing, and yet somehow there's redemption in the end, in the last movement at the very end. I think you travel through a very, very deeply felt experience or journey, and you end up in this place where you find peace at last. And I think that's something, as one gets older, it's an important experience to have and to attain, to have that peace.
Well, it's coming full circle now from the four of us. The Brahms Four Symphony was the first of the Brahms Symphonies that I came across on National Youth Orchestra, conducted by Christopher Seaman, and I had a fantastic time performing it with him. The first movement especially, for me, there's something in the very mellifluous writing of Brahms' music that really appeals to me. It feels completely natural. In fact, I'd go as far as to say it feels like the most natural thing in the world. And the first movement of Brahms' Fourth Symphony, this might be a bit controversial, but also the first movement of Shostakovich's 10th Symphony, I find to be one of the most organic, perfectly structured pieces of music ever, in the way that the climax is at a certain point and it builds towards that in a very natural way and then dies away again. And I feel that not just with the first movement, but if one was to take the symphony as a whole, it's like a complete journey. Not that the other three symphonies aren't, but there's something about the Fourth Symphony that leaves me personally with an enormous sense of satisfaction. It's wonderful, and I absolutely adore it. Now, of course, the fourth movement is the movement that we feature in on the trombones, and out of all of the chorale passages that Brahms gives us, I would say that this is the best one.